Hello friends, welcome back to What Cat Reads. For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. It is the middle of October, and I have not done my September wrap-up yet. So I'm going to run through that hopefully very quickly, and just kind of update on what I did read during the month, what I thought of it, and what books I did not get to. So let's go on ahead and start with some of the books I did not finish. So, as many of you who watched my TBR video know, for September I did Becca's Bookoplothon challenge for September to pick my TBR. And one of the books that, as soon as I rolled it, I figured I would not get it read all the way. I thought I might be able to start it, but that did not happen with school. And that was the Big Book Prompt. And for that one, I had chosen A Court of Silver Flames. The Big Book Prompt had to be over 500 pages. And that did not happen. I did not even start it. The month kind of got away from me. So, Court of Silver Flames, not read. Going back on my TBR. Another book that I did not get to was Building on the Cover. And for that one, I chose A Winter's Promise. My sister lent this to me. She was not 100% sure on it, if I remember books correctly. And I said I'd give it a shot, and then we could talk about it. I did not get to this one either. Again, September was a month that was very busy for me. Most school months, I can only get 8 books read in a month. And that's about where I think I ended up with 9 total read. But with the Bookoplothon, I think I ended up with 11 on my list. And that just wasn't happening. And when I pause and really think about it, my reading month was not a bad one. I just did not complete the challenges I set for myself. The last one, I had 2 on here because I was going to kind of play it by ear how I was feeling. And it was a book set before 2000. And I picked 2 off my shelf. They were 2 that I'd been wanting to read, but it just didn't happen for the month of September. One was Becoming Mrs. Lewis. We'll go back on my TBR. And same with Malibu Rising. Both of these took place before 2000, so they would have fulfilled that prompt, but I ran out of time for the month. So now that we have gotten over the elephant in the room and the books I did not read, what did I actually get read? The first roll I had was a pattern on the cover. And for that, I read Romanov. This one, I'm trying to remember back. It's been over a month now since I even read this one. I really enjoyed it. It was a kind of a magical twist of Anastasia and how they used magic in this world to overcome the assassination attempts of the Bolshevik army toward Anastasia and her family. I don't want to give away too much, because there are some good twists in here that kind of lead to some thought-provoking things in it, and how certain things happen, and how the author tied history and our real life history into this. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I haven't gone through to even think about star ratings, but definitely enjoyed it. I will probably reread this. I also have a previous student who I will probably recommend this one to because she likes the Anastasia retellings. The second role I had was favorite setting, and for that one, I read Grimrose Girls. This one is one that my sister lent to me. Every year we do a Christmas Eve book exchange, and I got her this one, and then she told me I had to read it. So I have read it. This is the beginning of a series, I believe. So I'll have to add it to my series list. Lots of fun. It gave me a lot of Once Upon a Time vibes. The premise of it is these girls go to a special school, and in this school different things happen, and the characters start kind of comparing themselves to to other fairy tale characters. A lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I will continue this series as well when I get there. The next book I had was a random letter generator. For that, I ended up with the letter C, and I continued through the Crave series. I read Covet during September. The Crave series is a Twilight Harry Potter kind of mashup. Is the best way my brain can. It's a human goes to a private school that turns out that she was the only human among mythical creatures. As we go through the series, we find out that she's not quite as human as she thought. And in Covet, we kind of see the development and the maturing of Grace, and I just had a lot of fun with it. I really struggled some in Crush with the way that the book ended. I did not like the turn it was taking. It was a similar turn that we kind of see in some other books that I did not like. That particular twist, such as Court of Thorns and Roses. But the one thing I did like through reading Covet is the author has her characters grow. Sorry, that's the trash and the dog. Okay, we're going to try to work through this. There's work going on outside and the dog's in here with me. So, we shall see how many times I have to pause the rest. But the one thing I did like with Covet is the author explains and really has the character kind of realize why the author has taken us on this change that sometimes bothers me in these books. And it was really interesting to see the author's kind of transformation of these characters through Covet, and I'm really excited, looking forward to Crave. The next one I had on my list was Features a Death. And for that one, I returned to a childhood read, middle school read of Where the Red Fern Grows. This is one, that cover is really, really shiny. That's and it's naked, so it does no good. This one was one that I really enjoyed when I read it in middle school. But I struggled with ever wanting to reread it due to the intense ending of the book. I've watched the movie several times, both versions. And just, I will watch the movie anytime, but something about reading the book transfers me into that world differently than just watching the movie, and so I couldn't bring myself to having to deal with the death at the end of the book. But reading it as an adult kind of put me in a different mind frame as well. I'm on the older side of this the main character's situation, and could see things in a different way and learn different things with it. The next one that I did read was Randomize Your TBR. And for that, I ended up with 1+1. This one I read on the airplane. I had to fly out to California for a family funeral. And this was a great escape for me. As an escapist reader, when I need to pull myself away from my emotions, a book is a great way to do that. And this contemporary was a very fun way to do that. This one, I really enjoyed it, and again, it was that great escape. Will I reread this? Probably not. I didn't have a problem with the characters, but I also didn't relate with them as much as I would have thought I did, and I did not enjoy this as much as I did Me Before You. But it was interesting to get another piece of this author's book list to kind of see if it was Me Before You that I enjoyed, or if it's the author's writing. I will probably pull out another Jojo Moyes, just because I liked one, didn't really like the other, and so it's kind of that tie, need a tiebreaker. Because I honestly wonder if some of that one is more of what I was going through emotionally, took away from some of the enjoyment I had of that book. All right, moving on. The next I had was People on the Cover, and for that, I returned back again to another middle school read. I remember 7th, 8th grade. I had the same English teacher both years, and we did a lot of these great classics that I read once and didn't ever go back. So this one was Bridge to Terabithia. Really enjoyed it. I do remember when I was in college giving this to my sister and telling her she needed to read it before we watched the movie, because the movie was coming out that year. And just kind of I didn't reread it myself then, but enjoying through her some of the events and then watching the movie together. Um, the magic of this world definitely is still there. I still love this book, um, and really have had a great time with it this during September. It was another one of those that was nice to rely on when I had COVID at the beginning of the month. I could kind of listen to and just escape into that world, but not have to really pay attention very closely because I knew the story, and it was just that fun reread during that time. Another one I had that I did read was Favorite Setting, and for that one I went back to the school setting and read New Moon. This was also I did this one because Sarah's Shelves is doing the reread of this series this fall, and New Moon was for September, so that worked out well for me that I could read New Moon and still get this school setting as my favorite setting for September. Again, enjoyed it as much as I thought I would. This is not my first reread of New Moon. I've reread it many times and always have enjoyed it. It does not. I haven't watched the second movie, as a rewatch yet, or done the discussion, just because it didn't work in my schedule. But I am looking forward to going back and watching those with the group that is leading it. And then the last one was a mood read, and for that I put in Cliture's The Deal, and in that one it's a college sports not retelling, but it's a college sports romance, and just had a lot of fun with that one. We have a hockey player who needs help with passing a class, because if he doesn't, he's off the team. And just really had a lot of fun kind of in that setting, getting that kind of college experience that while I went to college, I lived at home, not on campus, and so kind of having that experience through the safety of a book and not having to get out of my comfort zone for real. But so there's my September reading month. I know I've rambled quite a bit. I did end up with, if I pull up my stats, for the month of September, I did read 7 books, and 3,235 pages. I do feel accomplished with that. I don't know why I thought it was 9. So I was 1 book shy of my normal 8 in a month during the school year, but I was completely fine with that. Between having COVID at the beginning and flying out to California for a weekend and starting school, I just had a lot going on for September, and I did the best I could with what I had. So I am definitely not upset on that. With that, did I have, oh, that's right. So with those, 2 books were over 500 pages alone. 2 books were under 300 pages, and then those other 3 were between 3 and 500 pages. Overall, a good reading month. Did I complete Bookoplothon as much as I wanted to? No. In the future, I will probably set myself with 6 rolls, just so I have that wiggle room of rolling doubles, which happened this time. I did shot for 8, or I did 8 rolls, because I'm like, oh, I read 8 books in a month. I'll take it easy this month. And the dice were not quite so much in my favor. But overall, I had a great reading month. How was your September? I've seen many of your TBR videos. So I hope that yours was at least what you were wanting it to be, even if you did not complete whatever goals you had. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.